In life spanning, there is no plan B. I'm Jean Faracaba, and my guests are coming to this podcast for a reason. There's no rules, no BS, just pure biohacking. I don't want to know what you have to sell. I want to know who you are. Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. Today I have a fantastic athlete, entrepreneur, an example of life and living, a top biohacker of course, Alvaro Nunez. Welcome to the show, Alvaro. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, my friend. No, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
It's a thrill for me. I've been looking for this moment for a long time, and we met at the Biohacking Congress because of Amit Hay, I think, that introduced us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a good friend of mine as well. Why don't we start by you give a short introduction of yourself? You're going to do a better job than if I do it, please.
Well, it sounded very nice when it came from you, but yes, I'm an entrepreneur, real estate broker. I have a marketing agency as well here in Miami. We focus on advertising and selling multi-million-dollar homes here in Miami and other jet set locations. And besides that, I'm a best-selling author with a book called Level Up.
Yeah.
I'm also a keynote speaker, helicopter pilot, professional skydiver, and an ultra-endurance athlete, which that's what led me to be really intrigued about the whole biohacking journey. And it's been a few years already, and couldn't be more excited to share everything with you today.
Well, thank you for that. So let's jump into the topics. Ultraman, it's more than a marathon. It's more than a triathlete. It's more than everything. It's the ultimate challenge. And you did it, but you did it fucking well.
Yeah, it's interesting because the whole idea with the book called Level Up, it's to always go for more, right? And not just in your physical and health, but in every single area of life. And I believe that a true leader needs to lead by example. And I've always been a true believer that if I want to utilize the platform that I've already built on social media with over 1 million followers, I want to not just use it to entertain people, but to empower others to level up in their lives. So I keep on pushing myself. And more recently, I just did this race called Ultraman. In fact, I did it, 2 days ago?
Yeah, I know. So I was surprised to see you in that shape.
Yeah, I know. But for those that are not too familiar with what an Ultraman is basically double the distance of an Ironman triathlon. I've done multiple Ironmans before, and including the World Championship just recently in France, in Nice. Yeah, they did there. And I was thinking, well, after doing the World Championship in an Ironman, I've done already a few. I don't really want to keep on going in this direction. What's next? What's level up from here?
What's more? Yeah, it's not what's next, it's what more.
Yeah. And I saw this race called Ultraman, which is 6.2 mile swim, 270 mile bike ride, and 52.4 mile run, which is the equivalent of a double marathon. So
double marathon.
It's one of those challenges that a lot of people, when they hear about it, they think, how is that even possible? Right?
Yeah.
It seems impossible, really. Now, I think that at the end of the day, it's not about whether it's impossible or possible. It's about whether you have the dedication and the courage to take the first step towards it. And when I signed up for that, it was a matter of deciding, okay, I'm going to do the reverse engineering. Let's figure it out. What are the steps in order for you to get there? How can you improve on the swim? How can you improve on the bike ride? How can you improve on the run? And the preparation towards that was very exciting, to the point where I ended up arriving to that race a little bit nervous, but excited, because this is by invitation only. The difference between this race and an Ironman or other races is that you see thousands of participants, and in this one, you only see 50 participants. Right? It's by invitation only. It's something that you need to
How do you get this invitation? Yeah. How do you qualify for that?
You can apply, and then they review your application. There is certain requisites that you need to have in order for you to apply, whether it's complete an Ironman in the previous X amount of months, and then they check your times and all the other accolades that you have within the sports industry, and then they make a decision on whether you are accepted or not. So in this case, I just recently did the Ironman World Championship. I did also the Marathon des Sables, which is the toughest foot race in the world, the 6 marathon, 6 days.
That is a crazy one, Marathon des Sables. Yeah, it's...
Oh, yeah, no, you know it. So I had a few of those races under my belt, so I got accepted to this race. And when I got there, the first day they were doing this presentation, you know, like a brief on what the race is about, some of the regulations, things that every athlete and the teams should know about. And then they were making quick introductions about each of the participants. And as I was listening to some of the participants' stories and accolades, I was like, wow, I'm surrounded by elites, like world-class athletes, people that have won the world championship, people that have completed some of the craziest races in the world, people that have won Ironman races and crash times that I was like, no, this is not even humanly possible. So I was a bit intimidated, but at the same time excited.
Of course, what a challenge. Yeah.
Right. And, you know, it was one of those things that I went in there with the mindset of having a great time, push myself to the limit, and discover new ways of thinking throughout the process. And the first day, you know, with the swim starting, 6.2 miles, and then the bike ride,
270, yes.
Yeah, and you start doing all these different challenges. And I remember there was a few people in front of me, and I was leaving the swim at the 12th place. Then I finished the bike ride at the 5th place. And as the days were passing by, the hours, and I started to see that I was able to, you know, become better and better and better, and that I was
get to the top more and more.
Yeah, and I was not that far away from the best, and that respect that I was having towards the best in the race, I started to look more as a fire of like, oh, I'm competing against the best in the world, and I'm here like just minutes away from each other. Believe in yourself, because one of the things is to not have limits in your mind. But another thing is to have higher dreams, because I was no longer thinking that, oh, I cannot do this. I actually believed it from the very beginning. I was not dreaming big enough of thinking that I could actually win the race. So as the challenge kept on unlocking itself, and it was the time of the double marathon, I started to push on forward, and I was third. And I was third for most of the race on the run. And then as mile 20 took place, I picked up the second guy, and then which won the world championship a few years before. And then as the days were passing by and the times, I was getting to mile 35, and I see the first guy right in front, a little bit far throughout the hill in the sands. And I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm here next to this guy. What's going on? And I was just having a great time. I was having a great time. I was smiling. I was keeping that body language positive and the mindset. There's always three things that I try to check on every time I'm doing these sort of races. And it's the 3 M's: the mindset, the mechanics, and the metabolism. Am I thinking straight? Am I thinking positive? Am I having a strong winning mindset? Okay, check. Am I doing the mechanics right? Am I having a great heartbeat? Am I going fast enough or slow enough? Am I doing the right stride? Am I moving my body the right way? Am I stepping the right way? And then the metabolism. Am I having enough nutrients, enough, liquids, enough things and that salt? And that's what I was focusing on. And all of a sudden, I see the first guy stopping for a second as he was like little cramping or something. I'm like, no way, this is happening. So I pass him on. I smiled at him and I told him, was like, you're doing great. I'll see you at the finish line. And that gave me such power that all of a sudden I started leading the race. And there is a moment in there where I reached mile 40. And in the mile 40, I remember I was a bit afraid of winning. You know, there is a lot of people that are afraid of winning. So for me, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I'm leading the race. I have like 12 more miles to go. I'm leading the race. Is this really happening? Am I really strong enough to hold it? Every
you questioned yourself? Yeah, at that time you questioned just before the end.
I started to cramp. I started to get tense. I started to feel dehydrated, and I felt that I've been pushing very hard. For me, this is a distance that I've not done ever in my life before. So everything that I was doing moving forward was just like unknown. And that's where your mind started playing games. It's like, are you fit enough? Are you strong enough? Are you good enough to even finish first? Or is it okay if the other guys pick up and then you finish third or fourth? Do you deserve to be the first? And then I started to have that battle. And then one thing clicked right away, my why. Why am I here? I've been training hard. I've been doing this. Why am I doing this sport? And my coach, he was on a van with my family, and he had an envelope that I wrote the why before the race started. So he was showing me the envelope, and he said, remember your why. Remember why you're here. And that gave me the strength to keep moving,
to finish,
keep pushing. And it no longer mattered how the body was feeling, how the nutrition was going. It just the mindset pushing you forward. And I remember crossing that finish line, the first one of the race, and I was like, wow, this is really happening. And that was very empowering to finish that double marathon first.
Of course, this is like, it's like being in the Guinness of record is like the highest standard of achievement in sport as an athlete is probably what you've done there. And I need to ask you this question. You go through all this mindset. Why at the end of the race, your mindset and your willing and your deep thinking of you are a warrior and you're going to win shift over in the opposite direction? What causes that?
I think it's that you sometimes have that imposter syndrome, and which is okay.
Yeah, it's a normal.
I've embraced it throughout the journey because it's actually pushing you to become that better version of yourself. And I'm not a professional athlete by profession. I don't do this for a living. I have my real estate and media company. I do
your
speaking engagement, I do a lot of different things, right? And then when it comes to sports, it's something that I consider part of my life. And as you do things consistently and with discipline over years, then you keep getting better, right? And one of the beautiful things that I've discovered over the last few years is the whole biohacking world and how you can really ultimately have a better performance overall in life. And I've been applying this towards the sports career. And I remember that I see myself there and I look at the guys at the top, and that's what they do for a living. Like there's this Spanish guy that has done like all this Ultraman. And when they ask him, what's Ultraman for you? And he says, it's life. That's his life.
Wow.
That's what he does for a living. He wakes up and that's all he does. And all of a sudden, I'm battling with him back to back. So in my mind, I'm thinking, am I really I'm not supposed to be this guy winning the race.
I am taking his living or something. Yeah, I got that.
I'm somebody that it's great. I'm working hard. I deserve to be here. I deserve to, to finish the race. I know I can do it. But to the point where you're first, then you have those doubts, right? And then all of a sudden you quiet that voice by reminding yourself all the things you've done, all the work you've put, and you start believing in yourself because words become your reality. And if you start saying negative words, then negative things will happen.
Yeah.
And as I started cramping, if I started thinking, I'm not strong enough, here's where I started struggling, I started to say positive things. I'm unstoppable. I'm strong. And I started to scream it alone in the middle of a highway, hot as hell, and just by myself. And that's when I started saying all these powerful words that gave me the strength to keep pushing. And then eventually you start just unlocking ways of pushing forward. And then if you back that up with your why or why you're there, then you just become unstoppable. And at one point, I remember it was not even negotiable. It's just that I deserve to be here. I earned this by the work and dedication, and I'm going to win this race. And then you just
you did it. Yeah, you did it. Now, did you yell those words in Spanish or in English?
Both. both.
Yeah. I don't know. At the speed it goes out. More seriously, you have a mindset that is an example of the super strong mindset. Tell me, you were born in Spain and you grew up, you came to America, you made like what people call the American dream. How did you build up this mindset? Was that part of you when you were a kid, or is it something that step by step you have built it up because of the challenges of life and businesses and everything? I know that you are a skydiver. I'm a skydiver too. I know what is the thrill of jumping out. That creates a lot. But tell us, how did you become who you are now and the man that wins the ultra race, the hardest race in the world, So there is a parkour to get there, and it's not made by something simple by reading books or listening to biohackers. Is some things that you had to work from your mindset perspective and inner perspective as well. Can you tell us?
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. And as you mentioned, I'm originally from Madrid, Spain. That's where I grew up. I was a regular student, also played tennis. And that's kind of like the direction of where my life was heading. I was just focusing my entire attention on becoming the best possible student and the best possible tennis player. And then at some point, we decided to try to make it as a career where I could become a professional tennis player. I was training among some of the best in the sport. And I remember that it was a difficult situation where we had to decide which direction to go because we were facing a huge economical crisis worldwide, especially in my household. It became very, very difficult. So the idea of investing on Alvaro going, traveling, coaches, and doing the whole thing became a little bit less attractive. So that's when we looked for a separate alternative. And instead of just quitting completely on tennis and just focus on studying, we saw the opportunity in the US with the American dream, coming in here, getting a scholarship, go to university, build your career while playing the sport, and then more doors will open. And I did not have the mindset of, I'm unstoppable, there is no limit, I can become the best possible version of myself. I didn't have really any huge dreams or ambitions. I was just going with the flow, whatever my parents were saying, or my coaches, or life was taking me. But I never really had the dreams that I even have today, Of course, as you start facing obstacles, there is one thing that...
entrepreneur, definitely, yeah.
And there is one thing that became very powerful throughout my entire life, which is to hold to your why. I remember first time I arrived to the US, I was supposed to be the tennis star of the team and full scholarship, and then a few months later, I broke my foot. I was not able to play. They took my scholarship away, and I was in the middle of nowhere having to figure out what to do next. And in those situations, you can go back to your comfort zone, or you can use that as an opportunity to grow, right? Because I believe that hard situations help you to become who you are today. And I really embrace those moments as something that have really defined the person I am today. When that happened, I had to be creative. So working as, a staff member on the cleaning department, I was in the, cutting the grass, picking up trash. I was in the maintenance department. So doing that while on crutches humbles you a lot. It builds your character. It helps you define your values. And it also questions you on whether you should continue or not. And when you dig deep into why you need to do this, then you start finding the answer for it. And it makes you stronger. And my answer was that I'm here to build a living and support my family back home. So why would I quit when I have the opportunity to be here? And it's just a matter of trying to become better every single day and find those around you that can push you to become a better version, that also will, challenge you, because you don't want to be just around people that comfort you. You can go home and mom and dad will be like, "Oh, you're okay, son," or friends that will be like,
it's going to be okay. Yeah.
Have a beer. Oh, come have some food. It's okay. Yeah. You want to be around those that push you. And if you don't have anybody like that around you, it's okay. It's okay to be lonely for a bit. It's okay to move and try to find those different circles. I love, for example, our whole biohacking community. Everybody is all about wellness. It's all about how can you become a better version of yourself.
Every time.
And I find that super empowering, because especially here in Miami, sometimes people think, everybody that you come across, they just want to party and have fun. Well, in reality, there's multiple ways on how you can enjoy, right? And the new way of networking these days is to actually wellness. So for me, it's been a journey of obstacles, a journey of a lot of different ups and downs. As I mentioned here in the book, Level Up, the subtitle is Turning Your Obstacles into Superpowers. I think that the moment that you face an obstacle is an opportunity to turn it into your superpower. It's about reframing.
Sorry for interrupting. I do agree on that. But most people, when they face obstacle, they fail and they stop and they go backward. You build resilience in facing obstacle. And this is the difference between the highly successful people and the one that keep going and keep wanting to be some things or someone or somewhere, but not achieving their dream. Like the resilience that you build every time makes you stronger, but sometime, and especially in entrepreneurship, facing failure puts you down and you go the other side, but you kept going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. No, that's right. That's completely right. And I think that everybody has faced obstacles that seem too hard to even overcome. Mm-hmm. And you just need to break it down into things that are digestible.
Yeah.
And sometimes we see some big peak of the mountain of obstacles. So it's like, man, how am I going to even climb this? You just need to start one step at a time, and break it down into the different things that you can do today. And I no longer look at that just for the obstacles, but also for the dreams. When you can dream bigger and then push yourself even farther, it's okay. You just need to be patient. And this is what ultra endurance has taught me, that it's not about just sprinting hard and then crash. It's about staying consistent in the long run and discover yourself in the process. So if I want to become certain things in life, I want to make sure that I'm dreaming big enough that it's going to be a long journey, because I'm here for the long term. I'm not here to just do something today and that's it. I'm here to do greater things in the long term. And this is why a lot of people, I realize, don't emphasize on. They want to do so much so short, but they forget about all the things they can do in the long term. When you ask somebody how all the things they want to do, is like, I want to do this now, and this and this and this.
Yeah.
What
I want to make
5 years?
cash right away, especially in Miami. I want to make cash.
Yeah.
I want to go party. I want to fast, rewarding, fast. Yeah.
Everything quick. And then you ask, what about 5 years? What about 10? What about 20? Who you actually want to become? What do you want to accomplish in life? What do you want to leave, or why you want to do it? A lot of people don't even know, because they have not asked themselves that question. And even if they have as a brief answer, there is no why that is strong enough that it will keep them accountable and committed in the long term. That's why I believe that every morning, one of the powerful things that at least I've been implementing that has helped me, it's not just being grateful for the things we have, or ask yourself, what's your vision, where you see yourself, but ask yourself why every single day, why you're doing what you're doing. And not just one time, but enough times so that you get to a point where you get goosebumps every time you're answering that question. And that's one of the things that is powerful.
So you do that many times a day, many times a year, or during your life. Do you think that is your purpose? I do ask my why as well, and I think that you're in the middle. If I analyze where you are today, I would say that you are one of the rarest men on this planet that found the ikigai, the center point of happiness, purpose, and everything. Is that how do you feel?
I will say so. It's very rare. It's just a journey. I believe that we keep on transforming ourselves and our thoughts. I'm never done. I think that it's great to be grateful for what you have, but never satisfied to the degree where you slow down and stay comfortable. I'm here to do the best I can in every single things on all areas of life so that I can empower others to do the same. A lot of people say that you can only be obsessed with one thing to be the best. Just be obsessed at something and be the best at it. I wouldn't really agree on that, because you can be obsessed on just being the best version of yourself in every single area.
Yeah, not comparing.
It's going to take, not forget everything and forget everyone. Forget everything around you. Just focus on yourself. How can you become the best version of yourself every single day in each area? So you see a lot of very successful individuals, business-wise, financially, but then you look at them and they're obese, or they're having a lot of health issues, or you see a lot of people that are very spiritually and they are very well-aligned minds, body and soul, but they're not making money. And there is a lot of different unbalances, right?
Correct.
And in some moments in life, you're going to see those unbalances. But I do believe that if you keep that core center of thinking, I can be the best version of myself in each single area, and I'm not going to stop until that happens. And then you keep on pushing yourself, and that's the mindset of level up. You can always go above and beyond. And it's not a matter of being always like struggling or finding those obstacles. It's a matter of just enjoying the journey while pushing yourself to do things that keep you alive, because you either grow or you die. And I believe that the more that you can keep on pushing to grow, the more that you're going to be able to give back to the world.
I agree. It must be for some, looking at that could be interpreted as, oh my God, it must be exhausting to always challenge yourself. But it's the opposite. Actually, you find peace in that process because you want to improve, to give back, to have a purpose, to be balanced, because like you said, and maybe this requires more explanation in deep, is life is a journey and is a process where everything is never steady. So you need to question and to analyze where you are, because you are constantly, every second, every minute, unbalanced in a way or the other. And this is what you're chasing, like adjusting those small portion to make sure that you get to your balance every day. Do I have it correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love it. Now, back to biohacking, because this is like what we have in common. Did you use biohacking during the race?
Well, I think that the question will be throughout the entire journey, because I remember that for a race of this magnitude, you gotta train hard. So when you don't do this just for a living, there's a lot of other things that take into place, right? So I might need to be doing a marathon in the morning and then fly a helicopter and then show some properties and then go and speak at a conference. And then I have to do things, with the team and this and that. So at the end of the day, there is not really enough time to be doing everything you want to do unless you're able to hack it. And I believe that the world is changing rapidly. And right now, there is a lot of things that you can do simultaneously. And I don't consider that multitasking. I'm just seeing this more as an efficient way of working. So while I'm having a meeting, I might have the hydrogen, oxygen on my nose, or I might
and
be
a treadmill to walk.
I might be doing actually I do meetings while I'm running, but it's more about how can I at night, while let's say I'm doing the admin work on my computer or the phone, I can be on the PMF bed, or I can be on the red light therapy bed, or I could be, doing certain things that are helping you recover faster. So in the mornings, whether it's the cold plunge, the infrared sauna, there are little things that you adapt and that you incorporate into your routine that you no longer look at it as, oh, I need to do this. It's just part of your life. So
I love it.
I believe that the habit stacking is one of the most beautiful things that people can start looking into, is how can I stack more things into what I already do consistently every day that are going to help me improve the way I'm doing things in life. For me, I believe that one of the key ingredients, whether it's to perform in these sorts of races or just in life in general, is to recover better, recover faster.
Like
so
sleep
how can I
recovery?
Exactly. How can I sleep better? How can I eat better? How can I drink better water? How can I recover faster? So those are the things that I'm always seeking when it comes to biohacking. So the things that can give me an edge. Because if I'm trying to put 10 hours a day just at work alone, plus then all these other hours working out, plus then these other hours trying to be balanced with family and relationships and so on, and then I'm trying to put time also for my spiritually, whether it's meditating or so on, then you start looking at all these different areas and there is a lot of time.
It's way too much.
It's getting away.
Yeah.
So how can you, while you're doing these things, implement biohacking? And this is what I'm doing, right? Every time I'm thinking of, okay, let's say my girlfriend wants to watch a movie. I don't watch movies. I don't have time for that. But she wants to, spend some quality time. So I respect that. What do? Well, we set up the PMF bed. I use it as my moment of recovery. I put the Norman Tech bootlegs. I put the red light therapy on my head, and I put the watch, that Weber laser that gives me all the energy to help me relax and breathe in the oxygen. So it kind of looks funny to see it from the outside.
Not sexy.
But not sexy at all. But, it's one of those things that at least I'm providing that quality time with my partner while also using that time to recover. And the same thing goes with meetings, phone calls. Sometimes a phone call, I'm doing it while I'm stretching. Yeah, it's fine. I'm stretching. They don't see me. If I'm doing a Zoom call, then it doesn't matter. I'm using something on my legs to start, making sure they're feeling great. And it's just a matter of adding biohacking into your day-to-day activities.
Correct. And making sure that it doesn't become a burden, because this is the topic that I'm very passionate today. And it's one of the topics I speak about, is the impact of having heavily routine as a biohacker at the end of the day, it becomes counterproductive. And one of the example is a guy that came to me once and he goes like, I'm the best biohacker in the world. I do everything. I wake up, cold shower, red light therapy. I go this. And he goes like, when my son comes home, I'm lost because I don't have time. And I go like, okay, that's not the way that biohacking is supposed to be. They don't think about putting it in their daily life that is only 24 hours. You do it intelligently there. And this is what I call life spanning, one step above the biohacking because you enjoy life.
I love that. That's so powerful. I'll tell you something. And this, you just said it right there. And I'm so happy you mentioned this because even myself, I got to a point where I'm like, if I want to use every single machine, that will be a full-time job. Like you look around where we live and I can mention you 1,000 machines that we have. But if I want to do every single one of them, it will take me forever. It will be a madness. So one of the things I started saying is that I'm going to only use these machines while I'm doing something else that I will need to do regardless. You know, if I need to cook, what can I use while I'm cooking? If I need to, read a book, if I need to do a Zoom call, if I need to do a phone call, if I need to train, if I need to do this, what are some of the things that I'm implementing in my routines that I can stack? And this is the key. I mean, sometimes it's funny. I have like the Neuroflex brain thing that I put on my head, and then at the same time I'm breathing the oxygen, and at the same time I'm having the red light on my back, and then at the same time I'm having the massage thing on the legs, and then on my feet I'm having something like, it's just like at some point I'm thinking, man, am I either losing it? But I don't even think about it because it's set up in a way that it's like my office. My office station, everything is there. I sit, boom. It takes me literally 30 seconds. I'm not thinking about it, and I'm working. I will be there either way.
Instead of just sitting stupidly or not stupidly because you're working, but sitting there, you can have the red light in front of you.
Maximize it.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a personal question then. When you're in the intimacy with your girlfriend, are you on a PMF bed?
Oh my God, that's such a funny thing because I have it on the side of my bed. She doesn't have it on hers because she doesn't like how it feels, but I have it under, she laughs all the time because right before we go to sleep, I put tranquility, I do this, and then when she hears that beep, it's like, oh God, here we go again. But, I mean, look, she's also into this thing, so she doesn't mind, but I'm a little bit more consistent, let's put it that way. She's more like whenever she has time, she tries to do it. I'm trying to always have it set up so that anywhere I go, it's already set up.
But because you're an athlete in your mind and you're a performer that wants to achieve, so definitely it's part of it. What do you do when you jump skydive? Because you cannot use much of biohacking during the flight.
No, you know what? You want to just focus on your parachute. That's it. Honestly, I think that it's more about all the things that you do regularly that lead you to be able to keep on living life to the fullest. I'm telling you, I was the type of guy that before I used to go skydive. I mean, many years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I used to go skydive, let's say on the weekends. And after being there and skydiving like 4 or 5 times, 6 times sometimes, I used to come home and I was destroyed. So much adrenaline throughout the day, so much excitement, so much going on that I arrive home after driving also for hours. I get home and I'm like, man, I'm done. I'm done for the day. And now one of the things I realize is that you no longer need to have that feeling anymore. You can recover faster the day before, the day after, during the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. And it's a compound effect, right? Like that's a lot of people think like, oh, if I do the red light today, I want to feel amazing. No, it's what you do consistently over a period of a long time that you're going to start seeing the benefits. So for me, like, let's say, throughout the week, I've been doing this regularly. I will go skydiving. I will do all these things. I will feel energized and great. I will come home and I will still feel great. The energy levels are much higher. And this is what allows you to keep on performing in everything. And this is not my secret because there is no secret here, but I do put a lot of effort and attention into maintaining a very strong routine of health. Yeah,
because most people, and especially in America, haven't understood a very crucial point you said is even in biohacking, like in medicine, there is no magic pill. It's not something you take and, okay, everything is back, I recovered, I take NAD plus injection and oh, I'm going to be boosted. And that doesn't work like that. It's always a buildup of weeks minimum before you start getting to the effects. And even cold shower, of course, you have that shock the first time, but if you are consistent enough for a year, 2 years, that is an amazing tool as well. So that principle maybe need to be explained more to the public, because people that jump into biohacking, they don't know that. They think that it's the extreme opposite of medicine, and it's not. Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you think? Yeah. What do you think about Brian Johnson that takes so many pills?
Well, listen, everybody can do their own thing. You know, I'm not here to judge anybody. Everybody actually, does whatever they think is best for them. I do believe that at the end of the day, it's very interesting. I mean, look, there's cases of people that go in one direction, others in others. At the end of the day, I believe that you need to know yourself, understand on where are you right now? Where are you?
That's what he does, actually. That's exactly what he does, understanding himself. Yeah.
Oh, and it's very powerful because, I mean, that's one of the things that I admire with certain individuals, like him, that take it very serious and does all the tests to understand exactly what's missing, what's lacking, what you have extra, and then creates a whole plan to become the best version of yourself. So, yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people will always disagree on going to extremes. I do believe that when it comes to your health, you can always push it. You can always push it a bit farther, as long as it's sustainable. And as you mentioned, the lifespan, where it's not affecting other areas of your life. And this happens with everything. I know a lot of people also now that I'm getting more crazy in these endurance races, a lot of people tell me to be careful. This is going to have a big impact on your relationships and everything else, because the time, the effort, the things like that. And it's good to keep in mind that you don't want to go so deep down into something that it will make the other areas suffer.
Yeah, you need that social balance with your and partner and girlfriend or wife, or
if it matters to you, by the way. I mean, for some people, they might not care. For me, I always had that wheel of life in my head, where every time I look into what I do in life, it needs to be balanced, and then become extraordinary within that balance.
Yeah. What's your so you always find your why, and you always try to find your next. I'm going to ask you, after this incredible race, what's next? What is more?
Well, a lot of people always laugh when they ask me that question, because I always have an answer. I always have something ahead. I'm not somebody that sits around and, let me think. No,
I'll see.
I always have something next. And I guess that's how the program. But right now, one of the things that I have next is the Great Wall Race. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days.
Yes. My goodness, that is okay. But for that, you need, I don't know, you maybe not, but normally people prepare 2-3 years in advance.
Yeah, no, I mean, because the challenge here is, of course, the logistics on how to get in 7 days to 7 continents. Yeah. But also at the same time, you want to make sure that you are physically prepared for the changes in conditions, whether it's the altitude, the weather, and the
atmosphere,
everything. Yeah. So we started in Antarctica, and then from Antarctica we get to Africa, then we go to Australia, Asia, Europe, South America, and then North America. And in North America, we finish in Miami, out of all places.
Oh, I'm gonna be there to get you. Banners.
Let's go. Ale.
Yeah, that's, it's beautiful. It's inspiring, and it's like, we need people like you on this planet to show the world that everything is possible as long as you believe into what you're doing. If you have dreams. Question for you about dreams. You are a motivational speaker. How can we tell people that they can have dreams and they can accomplish them? Well, what's the best way to tell them that? Because most people, when you speak and you tell someone, oh, you should have dreams, you should accomplish something out of your life, and they go like, I'm too busy for that. I have work, I have to go work, I have kids, I wake up because my kids, I don't have even time to go to workout. How do you motivate those people to make sure they start having a sparkle and a dream created in their mind?
It's a good question. And I don't think that people necessarily need to have everything figured out to start dreaming. You can start dreaming today. A lot of people don't put the time towards that. And what might give them that leverage or that push to start thinking a little bit bigger is to start having those role models. It doesn't necessarily need to be a role model, but what is it something that you are already doing every day? And these people, I'm sure that if you track your time, you have a lot of time that you're putting into things that are completely waste of time. So how can you start swapping that around, and how can you start adding more motivational content into your life, self-development content, whether it's people that you admire or people that are doing great things in life? Those are the ones that might spark a little fire inside. And then with that spark, you just need to take that as an opportunity to build momentum. And whether it's blocking yourself 30 minutes to have no interruptions, whether you need to wake up, just wake up 20 minutes earlier and use those 20 minutes for yourself. There's no excuses on how you cannot wake up 20 minutes or 30 minutes early. And then use that time for yourself. Write down things, like make yourself a priority. And when you make yourself a priority, then you'll start building that time and that opportunity to start dreaming again. And once you dream, then you start getting excited. And then once you start putting that vision ahead, then you start asking yourself, why is it that you want that? And then once you start going down into that direction and you find a strong why, then you're going to start feeling that power of like, wow, okay, this is why I need to do this. And then you'll start finding an excuse. Because if the people right now, what happens is if you have a goal and then an excuse happens, then you stop. But if, for example, they say, hey, you need to do this because otherwise your kids will die, or because otherwise then you'll find a way 100% to make it happen. So you need to get to a degree where your why is so strong that no matter what happens around, you're going to make it happen. So I would say that for anybody starting, rather than just focus on your vision alone, focus on your relationship vision. Which ones are the people that you see yourself doing things with, and start following them. Start consuming information or content that is inspirational or empowering or motivational.
Yeah, stop scrolling and go to the right point.
Right. Do a little cleanse on that, because a lot of people, they want to lose weight and they start thinking, I need to hire the coach. I need to sign up for the gym. I need to do that. And the first thing is to just look into your own temple. What do you have at home? Look into your kitchen. What is it there? Open the fridge. All that garbage, throw it out.
Throw it out. Yeah. Processed food out. Yeah.
Start with that, Do a cleanse on your environment. And when you do a cleanse on your environment, whether it's your foods and nutrients, whether it's your friends and circle, whether it's the information you consume, that's one of the things that I always try to do regularly, to do that check on, okay, what is myself within me, then my close environment, whether it's my temple, which is my home, and then outside of the house,
outside of that
environment, and then outside. So I start looking at those circles, and I look at those environments, and what are some things that I need to be cleaning, right? Is there somebody or someone or something that I need to take away? Then I do it, Yeah. It's important, and that's why I encourage people to focus on starting now.
Yeah, I think that, the process of doing that, if you can transpose it to an image, is like clean up your desktop on your computer. Like people have folders all over the place. It's as messy as in their head. If you have a clean desktop, means like your mind is clear on your objective and your work. And it starts with details like that. Your desk need to be out of paper most of the time. Your life need to be the same way. Your friends, sometimes you have friends, but you don't know why you have those friends. They go against what you are, who you are. And it's difficult. More question for you. Inspiration from people, the one you follow. I need to ask you that, but David Goggins, runner. Yeah. Is it someone that you were looking at when you started to run, or?
Not when I started. I didn't even know about him when I started, but I found about him throughout the process, and I find that guy very, very inspirational. I think that he has a unique way of thinking. It's not for everybody. A lot of people dislike him, and some others find him inspirational. For me, I always try to look at the best in people, and he definitely has that fire, that spark, that mentality that makes you
obsessed.
Push forward.
He's obsessed.
So again, I'm not saying that type of lifestyle or approach is the key to life success, but definitely he has an angle of accomplishing things that I respect. and that I try to bring into the things I do. So I don't know him in person, but I'm sure eventually
Never run
we'll
with
cross
him.
paths.
Never. He was never
Not
on
yet.
any competition. Not yet. One day.
Not yet. Maybe we'll cross paths soon. Who knows? And I'm sure he's a very nice guy. So in the meantime, people like him are individuals that I look up for, that have done incredible things, and that in the meantime, I'll just keep on using that as fuel for my own journey.
Yeah, and you do well with everything you do. Like when we look at what you're doing and the activities, we're just like, it's only 24 hours a day, but that guy makes it in 24 hours. So it must be possible. Yeah, I love what you do. You know what? It's fascinating, and like you're an inspiration for real. You are going to stay an example for what you have accomplished now. And I think like on our side at Biohackers Magazine, we spoke about you in terms of the people to watch for 2024. But I would like to have a full interview and a full feature of you on the magazine to tell your story as you said it today in this podcast, from the beginning to the process of who you are and what you're going after next, and even the story of the 7 continents race. It would be amazing for our audience to get inspired, like you inspired me today, listening to what you have to say. Thank you.
Appreciate you, my friend. Absolutely. Count me in, and it's a pleasure to be here.
It was really my pleasure. I got goosebumps when you were talking about those races. I'm a competitive guy too. And I've been my whole life. We have many common points like skydiving as well. I'm not a runner for some reason. My father was a marathonian, and I've never been a runner for a while. It's just like, it's not my cup of tea. But yeah. But some people go into meditation when they run, and so that's probably one of the things that helps people to be better as well.
Absolutely. So we'll go for a run one day, my friend.
Absolutely. You're not that far. Thank you so much for being my guest today. It was an honor for me having you. We're going to put all the links for your book, for your website, for everything, so people can look at you. Your Instagram account is insane. And of course, we're going to make shorts and videos with this thing. Stay tuned. Alvaro Nunez, thank you so much.
Thank you.